Well, Inter Miami opened their brand new stadium that's called New Stadium, and they hosted Austin FC in their first ever game at this venue. And the game ended in a 2-2 draw. And there was a lot of missed opportunities by both teams. And honestly, you could argue that these teams are both lucky to come away with a point. Now, this was a monumental moment as the stadium has taken a lot of years to build, a lot of what ifs, if it's ever going to be built. And it finally opens up, and it is absolutely a beautiful world class stadium. And it's a shame that the team, was looking forward to having a big win in their first game, but Austin FC was a spoiler. Hello, everyone. Welcome to MLS Moves presented by FanDuel. Please make sure you guys like this video down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. So we're going to break down what we saw in this game in the first ever match at New Stadium, the good, the bad, the ugly by both sides, and overall thoughts of what happened. So let's start off with the first half, right? In the first half, the energy was off the charts. You saw the stadium had these like pink lighters, not lighters, but like these, they weren't like glow sticks, but they were pink. And you could see the whole entire crowd waving them in the air before the game started. The stadium looked absolutely incredible. Atmosphere was blasting, and it looked like that Miami had a crazy amount of momentum and wind behind their sail in this game. And prior to the game, I thought there was probably very little chance they would lose this game just because of all that was going in their favor. That was before the kickoff. And Austin FC obviously had a tough hill to climb because they had to play in this environment. But poor marking in the 6th minute led to the first goal scored by Biro for Austin FC. And I want to say that it was either Allende or Maxi Falcone, but whoever it was, poor marking by them. And just a wide open header down low. It was hard for Dane St. Clair to as a bouncing header. It was a hard one for Dane St. Clair to save, and Austin FC gets on the board first. And they're the first ever, Biro's the first ever player to score in this stadium. Gets on the board 6 minutes. And then you kind of think, okay, is Miami not starstruck? Or they maybe have a little bit of a celebration hangover from being excited about the stadium, maybe some butterflies because this is such a big deal. But Messi was able to score off of a header of himself in the 10th minute, and it was a beautiful header. It was crazy. So Messi's the first player for Inter Miami to ever score at the new stadium, which, that will be cemented forever. And it was a beautiful header by Messi off the corner. Honestly, surprised. I think he deflected when it first off the corner, but he was able to get a good head on it and scored, and it was beautiful, looked clinical. So they tied the game 1-1, 10 minutes in. And at that point, I was thinking this is going to be an absolute delight. It's going to probably be a very high scoring game, very energetic, a lot to like so far. But Austin FC, I think, were the better team in the first half. They had a lot of chances they missed off the bar. I think Uzuni had one off the post. I know for sure Facundo Torres had one off the post. They were threatening for most of this game against Inter Miami. Inter Miami's defense looked really bad. In the first half, Inter Miami, I don't think there was a single player who looked good outside of Messi. He was the only person I thought looked good in the first half. And I think Rodrigo De Paul was the worst person in the first half. I mean, he had so many turnovers in the first half. He just kept turning the ball over. It was almost like he was allergic to passing the ball to his teammates. He could not pass it to anyone else. He kept making bad decision after bad decision. This is probably the worst game Rodrigo De Paul has had in his Miami tenure, as far as I'm concerned. He was just abysmal in this game. They had nothing in the attack when it comes to the left side of Noah Allen. They had nothing in the attack when on the right side when it came to Ian Frey. I mean, they were truly abysmal tonight, all over the place, especially in the first half outside of Lionel Messi. The defenders were okay, I guess. There's still some poor marking, especially Maxi Falcone. He got cooked a couple times. But the team did not play good collectively in that first half outside of Messi. Now, on the other side of Austin FC, they were okay. I thought Uzuni was good. I thought that Facundo Torres was pretty good. I really liked Rosales. Rosales was just giving Miami fits all first half with his pace, and they just could not keep an eye on him. And he made things very, very difficult for them in this first half and really showed the lack of speed that maybe Miami doesn't have. Hey, everyone, quick word from our sponsor, FanDuel. If you're into soccer like I am, you already know how exciting La Liga, the Premier League, and MLS matches can get. With FanDuel, you can make it even more fun by placing bets on your favorite teams and matches across all three leagues. Whether it's a Premier League showdown, a La Liga thriller, or an MLS game with your local club, FanDuel makes it easy and exciting to bet on what you watch. Just remember, you have to be 21 years or older to play. Please bet responsibly and only if you're of legal age and in a state where it's allowed. Download the FanDuel app or head over to fanduel.com, sign up, and get in on the action. Thanks for supporting the channel through FanDuel. Right? They just don't have a lot of speed on the pitch. So the pace, the dribbling, the touches, the passes, especially for Stuver to Rosales a couple times. I mean, it was just incredible for Austin FC. They gave them a lot of fits, gave them a lot of fits in that first half. So the first half ended. It was pretty close in the stat sheet. I think it was like 7 shots for Miami, 6 for Austin FC, 3 on target for Miami, 2 for Austin FC. It was a very, very close game on the stat sheet. But I thought Austin FC was definitely the better team. They left more on the pitch and left more opportunities, I should say, on the pitch. And Miami was just a one-man show with Messi, and that's been an issue with them since last year as well. So the half ends. It's 1-1. See if there's going to make any changes either side to try to reignite and try to seal the deal on this game. So Miami makes one change. They bring in Gonzalo Lujan on for Ian Frey. Not the change I would have made off the rip. I thought that was interesting. Not really sure what the deal was there. I thought I would have brought in maybe some attackers earlier on. And then Austin FC brought on Jaden Nelson in the beginning of the second half because Facundo Torres had gotten hurt. And in the 53rd minute, Jay Nelson made an immediate impact and was giving them fits too with his pace. Miami struggles a lot with the pace. They really do. Anytime someone's got some pace, they struggle. Jay Nelson was able to score in the 53rd minute. And I want to say it was Maxi Falcone on him, but it could have been Mikael. But I want to say it was Maxi Falcone was guarding him, covering him, and he scored. And they put Austin FC up 2-1, right? They put Austin FC up 2-1. Miami they're struggling heavily in the attack. They are. They didn't have a true striker starting up top. They had Messi playing a false line or Silvetti playing a false line at some points. So Miami continues to struggle, giving Austin FC some chances. And in the second half, real quick, Inter Miami had possession 71% of the time. They had 20 shots in the second half. You heard that right. 20 shots in the second half. That's insane. They had 20 shots. 20. 5 on target, and Austin FC had 2 and 1 on target. I can't even believe that. 20 shots on target, or 20 shots in total in the second half. That some teams don't have 20 shots across 2 games. They had 20 shots in one half. So they were really, Austin FC was kind of playing a low block, and they were giving them chances, but Miami just weren't really able to convert some of these, right? I just wanted to mention that real quick. But to try to get things going in the second half, they substituted Yannick Bride on. They brought him on for David Ashala. They brought in Bertarame. They brought in Luis Suarez. So they were trying to get some people in here to try to ignite the attack, right? It still was pretty bad, I would say. I think Bertarame was okay. Now, Bertarame did have an assist to Luis Suarez off the corner. It was a corner, hit Bertarame, and then Suarez was able to score in the 81st minute to make it 2-2. But Inter Miami had so many chances in the box, and they don't have any confidence. Bertarame still doesn't have any confidence in the final third. Allende has been horrible all season long. Huge disappointment. Huge waste of money for $5 million. Silvetti really wasn't able to do anything in the attack. His crosses were bad. He didn't really have any. He had 2 shots in the game, but they weren't very good. They didn't have anything in the attack in the final third. It was literally just a one-man show. Messi. That's it. I'm telling you. They should have scored probably 3 or 4 goals with the opportunities they had. I mean, they had 26 shots in this game. They had 20 shots in the second half, and 5 of them were on target. I mean, they definitely should have scored more than 2 goals. Right? They definitely probably should have scored more than 2 goals. So Miami had chance after chance. They had 71% of the possession in the second half. Austin FC was just begging them to score. And at the end of the day, it's 2-2. The teams were both gassed, I think, by the end of this. They were playing really sluggish, Miami was. But you know who really, I think, deserves... So Luis Suarez got man of the match. I think that's whack. I don't think he should have been man of the match. The person I would consider to be the man of the match was Stuver. Stuver, I just told you, 20 shots in the second half, 5 on target. It was because of him. He had some incredible saves. Incredible saves for Austin FC in this game. I think Stuver is by far the man of the match because he kept them from losing this game. He kept them in this game. Stuver had one of the best games I've seen him have ever. I mean, this was just a truly remarkable performance, and a lot of people are saying he should get a national team call up for how good he was. So Stuver was my man of the match. He kept them in this match against Miami. Miami has got to figure some things out. Javier Mascherano is still not sold on him as a manager. They're going to have to do something besides just rely on Messi. They got to get some of these guys involved in doing things and contributing to this team because they continue to struggle. They're not finding goals anywhere else except for Messi. He cannot do it all on his own. He needs help. Okay? So we'll see what happens. Austin FC, great performance by them. Disappointing, I would say, first performance in this new stadium, which is a tragedy because of how beautiful it was. But we'll see what Inter Miami can do. Their next game that they play is against the Red Bulls at the stadium again, at New Stadium. And Red Bulls are pretty good. So we'll see what they're able to do against the New York Red Bulls next week. And Austin FC obviously had a good game. We'll see what they continue to do. But that's the post-game recap. You guys let me know what you thought of this match. Who did you think had a good game, a bad game? Who do you think was the most disappointing in this match? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget, MLS Moves was presented by FanDuel. Until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon.